Hello everyone, welcome back to another Warhammer battle. This is going to be a 1v1 where I am playing as the Skaven. We are facing off against the Lizard faction, Lizardmen faction. For my army, the front line is going to be made up of 3 of these Plague Monks, the bonus versus infantry, mid-tier infantry of the Skaven. I think they are a very good unit for 750. They are not very durable, but they can deal a lot of damage. Kind of just like, I guess, amped up, one of those guys from the Empire, Flagellants. Although I guess these guys aren't unbreakable. But anyway, you get my drift. They're dual wielding. They're pretty cool rats, and I like them a lot. Behind them, the second line, we have 2 clan rats, one without spears, one with spears, and then in the middle, supporting the army, is going to be a storm vermin with halberds. This is the only one that I brought. These are the anti-armor, anti-large, elite infantry of the Skaven horde. You can see they have a bonus versus large of 15. So with the 22 melee attack, like some of these anti-large units can do really well also against infantry. Nah, I mean, when their melee attack is so low, they kind of have to go against large creatures. It's not a unit that can stand up against other infantry units like some other hybrid or anti-large can, so you got to be careful with them. And then behind that, we have our more elite units of the group. You have 2 of the Poison-Wind Globadiers, the, once again, anti-large, anti-armor piercing, globe-throwing, cool-looking rat dudes in cool masks. I love the Globadiers. I still have not used the death ones. I think they're just really, really expensive. But I do really like the Poison Globadiers. We have 2 of those. And we also have 3 of the rat ogres. Armor piercing, large, just damage dealers of the Skaven horde. And against the lizardmen, I think rat ogres are even more important because it's a good chance the lizard's going to bring a lot of dinos that can just trample all of your little rats. These guys will try and pin them in place. Also, they're not infantry, so they don't get that bonus versus infantry. Or I should say the lizards don't get the bonus versus infantry, like, you know, on all their dinos. So I think the high mass damage dealing, they're good against dinos. So I think they're just a solid unit to pick against the lizards specifically, and also against really any race, but specifically against the lizards. But then behind those, we have a total of 4 units of Skaven Slave Spears, which are either going to ward cav from the back or just ready to run up and support the front line should it fall. For the leadership that I have, we have a Warlord on the Rat Ogre mount. The Rat Ogre mount gives him access to, I believe, immune to psychology is with the mount only, but it also gives him armor piercing damage quite high. The melee stats are also pretty good, especially considering this is just a very cheap lord, even on the Rat Ogre. They're not really that expensive. But then besides that, I also brought the Shield of Distraction, which is one of the items the Warlord can bring, which lowers, you can see there, -5 melee attack to everything around him. We also have Verminous Valor, which the Warlord and I believe Queek has. A lot of the lords actually have these now. That's the explosion spell that can kind of get you out of a bad situation. Also brought Deadly Onslaught, which has again been upgraded in Warhammer 2 with the, we have a lot of charge bonus, armor piercing, and weapon damage. I think what was it before? Was it charge bonus and armor piercing? One of these has been added, and I can't remember which one. Anyway, it is a lot better than what it used to be. So that is going to be our generic Warlord on a mount. Now, that is a risk, because against the Lizardmen, they're going to be bringing Krokar a lot, because Krokar is really good. They're going to bring him on a Connoisseur, because that's really good. And he has a huge bonus versus large. So you're kind of making your guy a target, which is why I brought this little Assassin backup. The Assassin, I think, is one of the greatest one of the greatest heroes added to the game. I love the Assassin of the Skaven because of the the debuff abilities and buff abilities of the Assassin is kind of crazy. So become with Trophy Heads. That's just an ability that he has, which is going to lower a Lord or Hero's melee defense and attack by 45 and 26 respectively. He also comes with the free Concealment Bombs, which is pretty neat. And then on top of that, we also have the Rival Hide Talisman, which is something that I brought. So around him in a 40-meter area for 33 seconds, lowering everything's melee attack by 44. You do have to pay for this one. And then on top of that, we also have Slippery. There is another item that he has. I brought once before, which buffs an ally's, like melee attack by around 40, weapon damage by around 40. I may have those a little higher, but it's ridiculous. It lowers their armor by 30, and it gives them immune to psychology. It's an insane buff for, I think, about 55 seconds or something like that. So I think the Assassin's just really good. So the hope is, if Krokar does pounce on the Warlord, which they did bring Krokar, we hit the Warlord with Trophy Heads. I'm sorry, Krokar with Trophy Heads, and then also if we need to drop the Rival High Talisman, making sure that Krokar gets no hits in. I love the Assassin. So that's part of our leadership. The other one is going to be a Plague Priest brought onto the mount. The only spells I brought are going to be the Wither spell, which is, there we go, which is the armor debuff, which I think is really good against lizards. They have a very tanky front line, so this kind of lowers them down to 30 armor for the Saurus Warriors, which brings them down to like just basic Empire foot soldiers, which isn't super tanky at all. Then on top of that, I also brought the Plague, or Blessed with Filth spell, which is going to imbue our rats with some poison damage, which is also awesome. Then Pestilent Breath, which is just a very solid breath spell. The second Pestilent Breath is because he is on a mount. So this mount grants a Pestilent Breath, but you can't really direct it like normal. It's just around, it's centered around this chariot, so you can kind of, you know, move it around, but you can't like extend it, then cast it this way. I should be like, you can't extend it and cast it this way. It's just whichever direction you're facing when you cast it, it's just, that's where it goes. So it's not as good as the casting Pestilent Breath, but it's free every 45 seconds. So listen, I'm not going to complain about that. I think the priests on chariots are amazing. They also have really high armor on the chariot here. We have, actually, I think they have this on even off the chariot. But still, they get contaminated attacks. They have a bonus versus infantry because this is now considered basically just a chariot. They have armor piercing, so the chariot is such a good upgrade for the priests, and it makes these priests really durable and very damaging in melee on top of being able to cast spells. It's really just a solid mount choice for any of the casters of the Skaven. So that is my army. For the Lizardman army, that's actually split into two. We have the infantry over there, and then over here we have an harassing force of 4, I believe. Yeah, so we have 4 Pterodon riders with the Fire Leech Bolas. Very good choice against Skaven. I can see what their plan is here. So they brought 4 of those. Again, that does a lot of damage to low armored units, which the Skaven hordes, most of them are low armored. Then way over here is the main part of their army, including a Gar on the Carnosaurs. So there you can see his insane melee stats, or I should say at least insane damage. And bonus versus large of 35. So his melee attack is a 95 against large creatures. Again, this is a risk, bringing a Warlord on him out, because Gar can eat him to pieces unless you bring some kind of debuff. So there is good old Gar. The main infantry line is going to be made up of 4 Skink cohorts and 3 Saurus warriors. Above there, we have a Skink Priest of the Heavens on a Pterodon mount with the breast spell, which I can never remember what it's called, Wind Blast. They also brought the Cube of Darkness, which is a 18-second duration, 45-second cooldown, to greatly reduce the power recharge rate of your enemy. It's a great thing to reduce the power recharge rate of your enemy. It's kind of one of the reasons why the Night Goblin caster is such a pain in the ass. Unless they get changed with the Mortal Empires update, they have that passive which lowers power recharge rate until they're dead, just at all times. It's insanely good, and which is why you probably see them brought a lot when greenskin armies are played. But anyway, this is not a greenskin army. Anyway, it's always a good thing to reduce your power recharge rate of the enemy. And then down here we have a group of Cold One Spear Riders, which are the mid-tier... They don't really have a mid-tier cav. I guess they kind of do, because the Feral Cold Ones would be like a low-tier cav. So yeah, mid-tier cav are relatively cheap for what you get from them. Armor piercing and anti-large. And one of the unique traits of these Cold Ones, not going on Rampage, which is a pretty good thing to have. So that is their army. And the idea of their army is something I like. They are going to be harassing me with the Pterodon Riders, and also bringing up their Skink Priests to try and weaken my army before we even meet. So seeing these Pterodon Riders, I'm immediately going to pull most of my army into the forest to try and block as much damage as we can, and I'm going to send both of our Globadier units to try and start throwing into the Pterodon Riders. This is going to be a pretty long time here, so I'm just going to fast forward it. So getting the idea of the enemy army, I don't know if they were expecting me to bring Globadiers or not. You probably should if you're playing as Lizards, because they're such a good unit to have against all your dinos. But you're going to see that the enemy is actually kind of microing pretty well. They're just moving, flying above my Globadiers, trying to make sure that my Globadiers have to continually readjust themselves so that they can get the enemy into their forward firing arc. But the problem is here, now they are dealing a lot of damage to me, but see this. There are 4 Pterodon Riders. This is a lot of money, and I am totally cool with doing this trade. They are focusing on my Poisonman Globadiers. I'm focusing on their Pterodon Riders. If we kill the Pterodon Riders, we win kind of that engagement. Because I looked at their army and I'm like, well, they don't really have any other large creatures besides Gar. I can't actually see the Cold Ones at this point. So I'm like, you know what? This is fine. I'm going to absorb a ton of damage with our 100 armor Poisonman Globadiers. Because again, these Fire Leech Bolas, there are a lot of them, but they do reduce damage versus armor, because armor blocks the fire. So right now, they did manage to rout one of my Poisonman Globadiers, but I'm still okay with this trade. We've done a ton of damage to their Pterodons, and I need them to be focused on my Poisonman Globadiers, which have the armor to absorb a lot of damage, instead of the targets that they should be going after, which is probably my Plague Monks, which is my, well, maybe not Stormvermin because they have high armor too, but definitely get rid of my Plague Monks, get rid of my front line so I can't do anything against their Saurus Warriors. So I don't have any units to kind of fight alongside my Rat Ogres. So I would probably rather go for these because they only have 10 armor, they only have a 15% physical resistance, so they can get chewed to pieces from these teardown riders. Instead, my Globadiers are kind of tanking them. We have the Skink Priest of Heavens coming in. They're going to cast a spell on my Skaven Slaves, which is a waste of mana for the most part. Again, they should be focusing on the Plague Monks or overcasting the Wind Blast, which does armor piercing damage, I believe, and then just destroy my Storm Vermin. So my Globadiers, I ran my Assassin down there to try and get them back from routing, so they are now back, and we're again doing damage to the Pterodon Riders. The enemy army is going to start moving up at this point, and I'm cool. I'm just cool with sitting here exchanging this fire. This is totally fine. They have done a lot of damage to my Globadiers, but they've not really done much other damage besides that. And since they don't have a bunch of Dinos, Bastillodons over here, I don't necessarily need my Globadiers. So we have destroyed a lot of their forces, which can deal a heavy blow to my infantry, which I'm going to need. But instead, they're using against these Globadiers, and I'm cool. So we're just doing, again, a lot of good damage to them. We have them all almost down to almost nothing. They are going to be withdrawing here just momentarily. I lose this unit entirely, but this unit is going to, well, obviously not rout. But we are only going to have, I think, 1, maybe 2 throws left of Globadiers to fight against Krokgar or the Skink Priest. Or these cold ones, which I still haven't seen yet. I may be able to see them right now, but I did not notice them until later. Here we go, another one of the Wind Blasts, but this is on my Clan Rats doing a massive amount of damage. It does massive damage versus Clan Rats. But again, I think I ought to be focusing on the Plague Monks. Excuse me. So now that the Pterodon Rider threat has been withdrawn and they're going to start flying back towards their army, I'm like, well, let's do this now. So we have thwarted that threat, so instead of just getting harassed by the Skink Priest and getting more Wind Blast on me, I'm now going to march our army forward against the infantry forces of the Lizards. Hero Squadron is over there. Actually, I'm sorry, that's my Plague Priest. The Hero Squadron is over here. I want to try and make sure to keep them out in the open and a nice target for Krokgar to come charging, because I want this assassin to be the surprise and basically just help kill Krokgar. Now that was an actually good Wind Blast spell. Count my Plague Monk, and you see how much damage it did. Destroyed that Plague Monk. That's 750 gold nearly down because of Wind Blast. Now that hurts. Losing Skaven Slaves, I can lose them all day. They're 150 for the Spear version, whatever. But now they're starting to hit my Plague Monks, and I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. But we're almost here, up against the Lizardman army, who are going to be again marching forward. Not really in a very long line, which I'm okay with, because my line isn't that long either. Most of my units are, really, I'm just going to be relying on these Plague Monks to absorb some damage while my Rat Ogres advance and try and kill the Saurus Warriors. I need to break their center, because the Skink cohorts, I can hold them in place with just Skaven Slaves for a while. So the plan is weaken the Saurus Warriors with the Wither Spell, poison up our army, charge in, and then get all of our Rat Ogres to kill these Saurus Warriors, along with the Plague Priest to do some trampling damage. There goes another Wind Blast, but I was already charging, so it doesn't do much damage there. Now, unfortunately, right here, I cast this out of order. I thought I cast the Wither Spell. What I cast first was the Bless and Filth and Bless, whatever. So I only caught 1 Plague Monk that has poison damage. I thought I was doing the Wither Spell, but now I'm doing the Wither Spell, which is going to bring the Saurus Warriors armor from 60 down to 30. So they are much more manageable now. So then we're going to just charge our Plague Priest in there, which does do armor piercing damage, bonus versus infantry. Get them in there. We're going to get all 3 of our Rat Ogres in there against the Saurus Warriors, trying to destroy the center as fast as we can. Going to get our heroes up here as well. You can see Krokgar is now going to start charging in. The Code One with spears are going to be coming all the way around the back, I believe. My flanks are losing, but they are Clan Rats who've already dealt a lot of damage here. These Plague Monks are going to be able to do really good against the Skinky cohort. And now here, I've engaged against Krokgar. I'm accepting this fight. And you're going to see here, let me pause it real quick. Krokgar has a 0 attack and 0 melee defense. Because look at all those debuffs that is now on him. Rival High Talisman, he has Wither on him right now too, bringing his armor down to 70. Trophy Heads from our Assassin. And now the Warlord with Deadly Onslaught is dealing 568 damage with a 58 melee attack against a 0 melee defense. Again, let me know if this is wrong. It may have changed, I'm not entirely sure. But I believe the highest or lowest you can get is a 10% chance to hit. And a 90%, or I should say a 90% chance to hit as the extreme. And then a 10% chance to dodge the attack as the melee defense, I think. So even though it says it's 0, I think there's still a 10% chance that they could block, or a 10% chance they could still get an attack through. I think that's the lowest. Let me know if that's changed. Last time I checked, that was like a year ago or something, and maybe I had misinformation. So let me know. But anyway, at the very least, they're not going to be hitting that much, and they're going to get hit a lot. So you're going to see Krokgar's health is going to drop considerably here, because I have the Assassin, I have the Storm Vermin, And I have our Warlord all pounding on Krokar, who's basically doing almost nothing in return. Also, we have these Poison Globadiers who are throwing into Krokar, and he is just melting, along with the rest of the infantry line, because we broke the Source Warriors with a Wither Spell and the Rat Ogres. On the right here, we are going to support the Plague Monks with our Plague Priests. We also did manage to cast a couple of the Breath Spells as well. And now we have the Lizard Army in a rout. We still do have this Flying Force, but they have been severely weakened because of our skirmish way back here. And then here come the Cold Ones a little late. They were trying to do a mass, like a very, very wide flank. They should have probably just came up here. And now we're just going to march forward. The goal is to try and kill Krokar, who is now being hit with cold blood, so he's going to be healing a little bit. And that is okay, because my Warlord is still pretty much fresh, or healthy, I should say. The Assassin is healthy. I think he's still back here right now. Yeah, you can see the Krokar fell into that trap, and it hurts. Krokar is very, very strong character, but when he doesn't have any melee defense or melee attack, well, you can't do much. And then we lowered the armor of the Source Warriors, so they are no longer tanky, and they rely on their armor because the Source Warriors' melee defense, for the price that they are, is really low, I feel. So they really need that 60 armor to tank the hits for them, because they're not going to be blocking too much unless they're going up against very low attack creatures, like, you know, like a Clan Rat or very low tier infantry. But they're going up against, you know, Plague Monks, against Rat Ogres with a decent melee attack. So yeah, they kind of got crushed by our advance there. And right now you can see they are gathering on our Poison Globadiers, who are no longer, they have no ammunition, so I'm like, that's fine. You can do this. I am now continually still charging, slowly taking away your forces, like these Skink cores just shattered. We're still charging into Krokar, trying to hold him in place with our Rat Ogres so that our Hero Squad can get in there and finish the job. Down here, we're going to throw some Clan Rats into these Skink cohorts. I think I also maybe throw this Rat Ogre temporarily. Maybe not. I lied. Instead, we're actually going to try and cut off Krokar. So we're going to try and move down here and make sure that he has no escape to go except for up in here. And that's exactly what he's going to do. At least I thought I did. I should be moving my army this way, I think. That's what I remember doing anyway. So my Globadiers are dead, but that's okay. We are still just pressing forward onto Krokar. We have re-broken these Skink cohorts. These haven't been able to come back, I don't think, yet, because we are just like right on their heels. And I am not worried about this. The Pterodon Riders are almost dead. They're not amazing in melee. On the charge, they do okay, but after the charge bonus is done, they're not that great. Cold Ones are a potential problem, but they don't have any support at this point in the game, so I'm not super worried about them either. Krokar retreating into the forest because we did have our units coming down here to cut them off, so now we're going to move back up in here. You can see the Pterodon Riders are going to gather around my Warlord on the charge. That's okay. We're going to bring our Skaven Slaves. We're going to bring Rat Ogres. And I think we throw in the Plague Monks over here as well. Cold One Riders are going to hit my Skaven Slaves on the, or my Clan Rats on the flank, and that's still okay because we have so many units left around here. There goes that explosion spell from our Warlord, doing some damage to the Pterodon Riders. Krokar, where's Krokar? Right over here, trying to get into my Warlord to try and do what they can to finish him off. But I'm chasing him with a bunch of Rat Ogres. We have the Storm Vermin. I guess actually some Storm Vermin against the Cold One, doing a lot of damage to the Cold Ones at least. And then here comes another debuff, Withered. We also did Blessed with Filth, and that is going to be a GG. So I saw the plan. I think Pterodon Riders are really good, but they just use so much ammunition trying to kill my Poison Globadiers, which I did not need because they didn't have a Dino-focused army, or Bastillodons or anything like that. So that trade, even though I love Poison Globadiers, but I think we definitely won in that specific engagement. And then when we finally met and clashed in the middle, we had the Assassin's debuffs just destroy Krokar's capabilities in melee, and we just killed them there. So we countered that. The Plague Priest with the debuff spells and the Poison spell managed to help break the entire infantry line. The 3 Rat Ogres Armor Piercing also helped to break through their Source Center. Like, it was unfortunate for the Source Warriors. They got it pretty hard. They got debuffed. They got a huge Chariot in the face, they got Breath Spells in the face, and they got 3 Rat Ogres in the face. But good game to Desert King. I did, again, like the idea of the harassing Pterodons and the Skink Priest to weaken the army. I think it can definitely work. Just, I guess, not this specific time. But then again, I hope you enjoyed the match, everybody, and let's watch a cinematic view of the battle. Going to start the cinematic view a little into the battle, because, you know, it's kind of a long skirmishing mode here. But still, we don't really get to show off the Pterodon Riders nor the Poison Globadiers. Who kind of look like they have Ghostbuster backpacks now that I look at them. I guess in this case they are Pterodon Busters. I That wasn't clever. Nah, that wasn't clever at all. They look really cool. The fire bullets just are awesome. There goes my assassin to rally those Globadiers back. A brutal battle, to be sure.
Quick, quick! Quick, quick, go!
Poor little rats. So right now, I think we were just waiting for those Globadiers to kind of get closer. So you do wait for a little bit, and that's what enables this. Do this. Oh god, I just murdered those poor rats. It hurts to see that.
Scurry! At once! Scurry, yes, yes! Onward, fool! Blinky, blink! Looks good, maybe! This way! Plan advance! We move! At once, master! March retreat! Good! Yes, good!
Woo. God, picking up a Saurus warrior one-handed. Damn, Rado just...
They obey!
assassin in there? Yeah, he's there. Someone get that Source Warrior. Or not.
Slice dice!
Poor Skinks. Oh! Oh, I didn't even know I could do that! He impaled that skink and then twirled him around with the... Oh, shit. That was pretty cool. I didn't realize these things twirled. Oh, now I know.
I agree.
Yeah, you get away this time. I think my Globadiers just died. Whoop. Yep. They didn't see you! Get away! Safety. And there we go. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the battle. I think Skaven are just awesome. I love the Skaven. I will see you all next time. Take care.